Since the convention is such a hot topic right now, I wanted to rewind time to when I was a young girl scoping out my husband. While the conventions aren't what I would consider fun, it was the best place for a young J-dub to look for a mate, especially if you were going to a congregation that didn't have a lot of people your age. This was the meat market epicenter. If I was lucky, I would get a new outfit for the convention, but not usually. Although sometimes I could borrow my friends' clothes, and that was good enough for me. I remember one time a guy came up to me and started complimenting me on my feet. That was a bit confusing for me as a sheltered teenager. I guess you meet all kinds of interesting Jehovah's Witnesses there. The stadium that we would go to held around 50 to 70,000 people, so it was pretty big. There wasn't that many JWs that were there though. There was tons of empty seats. But full enough to want to cruise through the hallways looking for boys like a hound sniffing out a fox. I met a few good friends that way. One of the guys that I had met, we started to write letters, send each other voice recordings over cassette tapes. The funny thing though is that when he came to visit me, because we liked each other, I thought we were gonna date. But when he came to visit, he and my other friend ended up kissing, and then they began to date. I'm telling you, it was slim pickings out there, and the convention was a hot spot. When I say hot, I mean hot. Sometimes it would be over 100 degrees outside, and the stadium did not have a roof, so the sun would fry people to the point where they would get heat stroke. If you were smart, you'd bring umbrellas or get there early enough to sit in the shaded seats. Sometimes that meant sitting up in the nosebleeds, which is whatever, but from there you wouldn't be able to see the dramas, which in my opinion was the only entertaining portion of the convention. My friends and I would usually stroll during lunch break, making a few laps, some shy smiles, eye contact, baby. Sometimes we'd meet up for a few minutes during bathroom break, but if you take too long, your parents get angry, so a lot of times I wasn't even allowed to sit with my friends because that would force you to pay attention. Which is hilarious. I can barely pay attention when I try, let alone being forced to sit in the heat 4 hours as a teenager and be told how everything I thought, felt, and did was wrong. Yeah, no. Anyhow, an interesting thought is that one of these last conventions that I had went to as an adult, it was like crickets. The venue was very empty. Even the age of the people, there weren't really any teenagers there. There was either older adults or young kids. It was almost as if a whole generation was missing. In the moment, it was very perplexing to me because it was so different from when I was young and the energy wasn't the same. But now I'm finally piecing together that this religion has been on a decline for a long while. They're going to have to hone in on the children who are still inside being guided by their misled parents, which makes complete sense when you see the cartoon propaganda they are having these vulnerable children watch. It's the only way they're going to keep this religion alive as members fade out and the older ones die off. All things done in the dark come to light. That's something my parents would always tell me to guilt me into telling them stuff. Now it rings true for the organization. All the evil they had kept in the dark is finally coming to light. And that light is so bright, it is unavoidable. Well, kids, I never did get that JW husband. Probably for the best. Or I might still be stuck inside that org. Thanks for watching.